بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. خير ما نفتتح به لقاءنا هذا آيات من الذكر الحكيم يتلوها علينا القارئ عبد الله طقطاق، فليتفضل.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ومن آياته أن خلقكم من تراب ثم إذا تنتشرون. ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. ومن آياته خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف ألسنتكم وألوانكم إن في ذلك لآيات للعالمين. ومن آياته منامكم بالليل والنهار وابتغاؤكم من فضله إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يسمعون. ومن آياته يريكم البرق خوفا وطمعا وينزل من السماء ماء فيحيي به الأرض بعد موتها إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يعقلون. ومن آياته أن تقوم السماء والأرض بأمره ثم إذا دعاكم دعوة من الأرض إذا أنتم تخرجون. وله من في السماوات والأرض كل له قانتون. وهو الذي يبدأ الخلق ثم يعيده وهو أهون عليه وله المثل الأعلى في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ghalib Jarrar, Chairman of the Geology Department. Excellencies, dear guests, colleagues and students, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the University of Jordan and the organizing committee. We are delighted to have you with us to participate in the 8th Environmental Symposium of the German Arab-Centric Forum for Environmental Studies. The highlights of the symposium are water resources in the Middle East and North Africa, environmental protection, global warming, air and soil quality. In the 2 days meeting, we will have 2 keynotes, about 30 talks, in addition to 4 talks on the German-Jordanian cooperation and 3 posters. This meeting will be followed by 2 excursions and a field trip to Petra and Wadi Ram. Before we start, I would like to draw your attention to keep your mobiles silent or even put them off. You will not miss anything. The cabinet reshuffle, I guess, is now in the process. Now, let me call upon Professor Fathi Zeraini, the chair of the German Arab Scientific Forum, to deliver his speech.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, السيدات والسادة الكرام, on behalf of the German Arab Scientific Forum for Environmental Study, I would like to welcome you and thank you for accepting our invitation to the 8th Environmental Symposium here in Amman. I would first like to thank our host, His Excellency, the President of the University of Jordan, Professor Abdelkarim Lukdan, and our collaboration partner, Their Excellency, the President of German Jordanian University, Professor Manar Faryab, for the hearty welcome of this symposium. I would also like to thank His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, Engineer Ali Sabah, and the technical advisor for the Minister of Environment, Dr. Jihad Saraya, for honoring us with their participation. I am also grateful that a number of guests from Jordan institutions as well as representatives of German institutions in Jordan were able to find the time to enjoy us for this opening ceremony. I would like to thank the Dean of School Science of the University of Jordan and Global Organizing Committee in Amman, Professor Walid Jarrah, Professor Mustafa Qaisi, Professor Tariq Hussein from the University of Jordan, and the Dean Munjid al-Sharif from Jordanian University for the great support with the preparation of this environmental symposium. My thanks also go to the organizing committee in Germany, which includes Professor Rafiq Azam, Dr. Aouni Salah, Dr. Fagner Zeraini, Dr. Eric Egert, Mr. Herbert Schläfer, and Mrs. Nora Hinke and Mr. Martin Hinke for their effort in the planning and organizing this symposium. Special thanks go to Mr. Klaus Holzner from Federal Institute for Geosciences and Nature Resources in Germany, and Dr. Ismail Elbaz from Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, GIZ, and the Water Authority of Jordan for their great support with the planning and preparations of the fifth trip at the end of the symposium. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the German Arab Scientific Forum and tell you how the forum came about and what we do. The forum founded in 1999 in Frankfurt am Main, Germany, in order to contribute the global environmental protection and international collaboration in this issue. It is an association of scientists from different fields, as well as individuals interested in the development of German-Arab relationship in the environmental research. The Scientific Forum is a platform for information exchange and cooperation between scientists, national institutions, and economic enterprises. In addition, the forum aims to inform the public in Germany and other countries about the possibility of collaboration between nations to solve environmental problems. The helpful this aim is in this second year we organize an environment symposium for discussions and presentation of research findings. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of the symposium are water resources, environmental protection, climate change in the Middle East and North Africa. Environmental protection is not the privilege of rich countries. It is our common duty. For example, climate change doesn't stop at the border. Climate change threatens to exacerbate current problems regarding water availability. The effects of climate change are already perceived in all parts of the world. As you know, water scarcity in combination with high rate of population growth in this area region is already a political issue. Conflict regarding ownership or the entitlement to valuable water resources has led to strained relationship between various populations in this region. If water resources become even more limited, this could, of course, destabilize the region and obstruct attempts to establish peace. I believe that science can significantly contribute in many ways to search for resolution of this water scarcity. We cannot emphasize enough how important it is to conserve water. As much as 70% of the water reserves in the Middle East and North Africa are used for agricultural purposes. It is not sustainable that an enormous amount of drinking water continue to be used in this way. A change of thinking will be needed in this respect. Today, water scarcity in our region can only be dealt with effectively if we all work together to find solution in this age of globalization. Effective solution will require a combination of scientific advances and technical knowledge. On one hand, we need to deal with the issue of water usage and distribution. However, on the other hand, there's a need to solve the reason of this problem, which is the global warming. It is scientifically proven that an increase of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere lead to global warming. That means we have to reduce the emission of such gases in our region. We also have to improve the air quality in our cities. That is fundamental for both public health and the environment. We should not forget that we need our planet, but it doesn't need us. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that symposium will satisfy your expectation and wish us all a successful conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ziraini. Now, I would like to call His Excellency, Secretary General of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, to deliver his talk.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, I would like to thank the German Arab Forum and the University of Jordan and the German University for organizing and selecting Jordan to have this symposium here in Amman, which is the right place. If we talk about water, Jordan is a good example for students to learn a lot how to deal with water, how to conserve water, how to supply people with water. We are, the last studies showing that we are the third country relating to the water scarcity in the world. But taking the financial resources, we are the first. The poverty line of the world poverty line is 1,000 cubic meter per person per year for all uses. And the absolute one, 500 cubic meter per person per year for all uses. Jordan, less than 90 cubic meter per person for all uses per year. It means less than 10% of the poverty line. Less than 20% from the absolute poverty line. But thanks for the ministry staff, we still provide the people with the minimum needed water. By nature, we are located in arid to semi-arid area. So the more than 92% from our land receive less than 200 millimeter per year rainfall. So we have a capacity of dams more than 335 million cubic meter, but never we store more than 50% from this amount. Now, today, we have around 33 million cubic meter in the dams. Related to groundwater, our safe yield, or the amount that can be abstracted without any environmental impact, around 275 million cubic meter, which depends on the rainfall to be recharged. But unfortunately, we are abstracting almost double, more than 600 million cubic meter nowadays. It's not abstracted for funny. We abstracted because there is no alternatives. In the border of Jordan, there is no more shallow aquifers available to be abstracted. The groundwater decline, the groundwater table decline was before around between 1 and 2 meters, and we were very happy with it. Nowadays, believe it or not, per year more than 10 meters. It means always you need to deepen the well or replace the well or treat the water of the well. So the dangerous nowadays that our aquifers, if we continue as usual, will be empty or will be deteriorated by salinity. If we talk about springs, more than half of the springs dry. More than half of the amount of the water that used from the springs are missed. As I said, in the border of Jordan, there is no any additional water except the deep aquifer or saline water. But Jordan has a challenge about energy itself, in addition to water. More than 50% of our revenue in the water sector goes to the bill of electricity. And we think it will be more because of the increase of electricity itself. If we go to salinity or saline aquifers, it means we need to desalinate. It means additional energy. but a big challenge where we are looking from scientific bodies to find solution about the brine, where to go with the brine. Because to transfer brine to the Dead Sea, it means additional cost or a huge cost will be added to producing 1 cubic meter. Deep aquifer nowadays, tender is under implementation. We will drill 1,400 meters in Khan Zabib area, which is called Shidiya Hassan. If we talk with our friends outside, when we talk about 1,400 meters, they think we are looking for fuel, for petrol, but we are looking for water. The water table will be more than 500 meters. It means the pump set will be more than 650 meters. Think about energy consumption. And this water needed to be treated because it's hot, saline, with additional heavy metals you will find. So you need to treat it. Means the cost of each cubic meter will be huge. If you talk about economical issue, we will not drill any well. But if there is no alternatives, you should go there. More than 40% of our water is transboundary water, or sharing water with neighboring countries. And you are located in the hottest place in the world. With whom to talk? You are from the north, you are downstream. From the south, you are downstream. Where is the resources? Surface water or groundwater? From the east, we are upstream, but there is no other resources. From the west, we are upstream, but the nature will not allow us to stop the discharge of surface water or underground flow, because it will go to the flow to the lowest point in the world, which is Dead Sea. By nature, the nature itself is a challenge. In addition to the man-made, which is the transboundary now with whom to talk, the refugees, Jordan, since 1948, 1967, 1982, 2003, 2011, fluxes of refugees. But the most difficult ones, the last one in 2011-12, which is almost 1.4 million, which make crisis on top of a crisis. We are living in a crisis. The demand increased 20% nationally and more than 40% in the northern commandery. So it gives additional pressure in the resources. So what's the solution? To tell the people to conserve water, they receive every 2 weeks 1 day water. So now only to think about what we can bring or additional water from non-conventional water. I mean, now we are working a lot about wastewater. Treated wastewater is the main pillar will be in our water budget in the future. At the end of 2017, it was around 165 million cubic meter treated, more than 90% of it reused to substitute the fresh water. That fresh water go for domestic uses and the treated wastewater go to agriculture or industrial issues. So this, we work a lot, but it's a huge money needed for these projects if you talk about wastewater and net wells. But it's needed. The only solution for Jordan is the desalination. But unfortunately, the sea that we have it, which is Red Sea, 350 meters far away from Amman. It means a huge operation and maintenance need to transfer this water from there. Not only to the sea, because always the people say desalination is cheaper nowadays. Yes, desalination is cheaper, but to transfer water 350 kilometers, a huge operation and maintenance, a huge energy needed. Believe me, we sometimes pump water to reach the consumers 5 to 6 times, and from distances of 200 kilometers or 300 kilometers. But now Jordan took the decision that desalination the solution. And the regional one, you heard about it with as a regional project. Soon we'll start again to discuss this, and I hope we'll start, because for us not the first stage is important, the second stage the most important one, and we have another scenario to have additional 150 million from desalination and fossil water, at least to keep or to save the aquifers that we abstract nowadays recovered one day. Because if we bring desalination, we should relax many aquifers, or we will lose it if we continue as usual. And I wish you the best. And on behalf of Jordanians and on behalf of the ministry, I would like to thank the people of Germany and the government of Germany for their continuous support for Jordan, and especially for the water sector, because without their support technically or financially, we will be in the trouble. So thanks for all.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your comprehensive and informative talk. Our next speaker is Dr. Jihad Sawair. He will deliver his talk on climate change on behalf of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment. Please, Dr. Jihad.
Sabah al-Khair. Good morning. On behalf of the Ministry of Environment, I would like to thank the organizers of this important forum, the German Arab Forum for Environmental Science, the Jordan University, and more specifically the Department of Geology, and the German Jordan University. Also I'm here to talk about the climate change. And as you all know, climate change is a fundamental challenge now to the environment, not only to the environment, to the economy and to the development, where the faster the adverse effects are addressed, the better is the opportunity and this is the cost. As for Jordan, and Jordan is among the countries in the region that is actually affected a lot by climate change. As you know, Jordan is more affected than it contributes to climate change. We only emit about 28.7 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent, which is when compared to emissions released by developed countries, it's only about 0.06% of the global total emissions. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the climate change affects our region in so many ways. And among these are the high temperatures, the increased surface area affected by drought, as was mentioned by His Excellency the Secretary General of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, the increased natural systems and habitat degradation, and the movement of some species to other areas, decline in the forest growth and size, the increased natural fires due to increased temperatures. Other effects include rainfall fluctuations, heat waves, and drop in water availability, and decline of water flow and lack of water for irrigation, and thus it is the negative effect of this and impact on the food security the impacts on patterns of diseases, and on clean water and sanitation facilities. The Jordanian government, represented by the Ministry of Environment, believes that Jordan has a key role to play within the global effort in adaptation and mitigation to climate change. Jordan is considered as one of the leading countries in the region in terms of developing innovative ideas, including and legislations, policies, and solutions on several sectors. Most importantly, the energy efficiency and the renewable energy and the water conservation. The government achieved concrete steps in climate change adaptation and mitigation, where an ambitious policy framework was prepared, which is the National Policy on Climate Change, which 2013-2020, and the National Determined Contributions, the NDC's report. One of the most important things that was done by the government is the integrating the climate change into the different sectors, such as integrating the concept of climate change in the new water strategy for the year 2016. Also, the government is working so hard to speed the efforts in the renewable energy sector to reach the new target of 10% of the energy mix in the year 2030, where renewable energy and energy efficiency law was developed, plus developing strategies in the transport sector that promote energy efficiency and providing tax exemptions and facilitate the low carbon transport cars. In the agriculture sector, the concept of climate change is also being integrated in all programs, especially in the range management and the food security. Jordan submitted its first, second, and third national communication reports to the UNFCCC and joined the program of Partnership for Market Readiness that focuses on the willingness to market economics in climate change. In addition, Jordan submitted its biennial report to UNFCCC, a report of greenhouse gases emissions that is developed every 2 years. You know, the problem is not only in the submission of the NDCs, it's the problem in the implementation of these NDCs. And we, as a government, we always rely on the cooperation with the international organizations and on our partners from the different sectors. As you know, Jordan is committed to reduce its greenhouse gases by 14% by the year 2030, compared to a business as usual projected emissions. For 12.5% of these greenhouse gas emissions are actually based on the finance and enhanced support from developed countries, and the big majority of this fund should be mobilized politically between states, but also through market-based mechanisms. In 2016, Jordan ratified the Paris Agreement, and Jordan's position was clear in that agreement. It's mainly concentrated on clear differentiation and flexibilities for developing countries and elements of mitigation, adaptation, finance, technology development, and transfer capacity building, transparency of action and support, and the facilitation and implementation and compliance. You know, climate change was identified as one of the green growth pillars agenda. The Ministry of Environment took the lead in 2014 to set the institutional grounds for the gradual conversion from brown economy to green economy. That's expected to enhance economic growth and protect the environment and is socially inclusive. The National Green Growth Plan that was developed last year for the years 2017-2025, endorsed by the Cabinet and launched last year, focuses on 6 sectors: energy, water, waste, transport, agriculture, and tourism. Currently, we are developing sectorial action plans for each of the 6 sectors with intensive involvement of all stakeholders of the 6 sectors, including private sector and NGOs. The action plans will include actions identified and agreed upon by all stakeholders in each sector. In addition, cross-cutting action plan will be developed to cover the issues that intersect between different sectors, and will include actions, projects in climate change adaptation and mitigation in those sectors. Finally, I would like to thank you again for inviting us to this workshop or this forum. Wishing you a successful forum. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jihad, for your informative talk. Our next speaker is Her Excellency Professor Dr. Manar Fayyad, the President of the German Jordanian University.
The wrong paper. Sorry for that. Your Excellency, Engineer Ali Sobah, representing the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, Your Excellency Dr. Jihad Sawair, representing the Ministry of Environment, dear Professor Abdul Karim Liqda, our host, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to address you in the 8th Environmental Symposium of German Arab Scientific Forum for Environmental Studies in collaboration between the German Jordanian University and the University of Jordan. I am happy to talk on behalf of my university, German Jordanian University, and my home university, University of Jordan. Both are dear to me. As the program suggests, this symposium is focusing on the important topics of water resources in the Middle East and North Africa, and their linkages to environmental protection, global warming, air and soil quality. Ladies and gentlemen, this region has been always among the water poorest countries in the world. Water and other related strategies should follow an integrated approach to we have to have sustainable management of the water resources to provide the public water supply, as well as for the provision of healthy ecosystems and the services they provide. I strongly believe that success in adapting to increased water scarcity and related threats to health, food security, productivity, and human security in our region is the key to sustaining its human development achievements and growth. The overlap and correlation between water resources availability and social and economic activities with their increasing environmental impacts, such as water quality deterioration, land use planning, reduction in agricultural productivity, and desertification, necessitate the capacity building of human resources development in water, environmental planning and management. And this is why we at the German Jordanian University and also at other universities, we are supporting programs, projects, researches, and specialized events as this symposium to spread the knowledge and create partnerships with all entities and organizations working in this field. We at the German Jordanian University has acknowledged the importance of specific programs dealing with the current challenges to the region and the world. Thus, we have developed specialized programs dealing with the water and environmental engineering and management, and also energy engineering. We also adapted the applied approach to qualify our graduates to the market, and the development needs of the economy. We provide our students with high-level practical training in Jordan and in Germany to be fit for the emerging challenges of our region and the world. Finally, I would like to thank the organization and scientific committees of this for their huge efforts to hold this event. And we just to make sure that we at universities, we are ready to cooperate with all decision makers to revise our curriculum to suit your needs in order to bring to the market graduates who are more fit for the market. I wish you all success in this event and looking forward for your recommendation, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your informative talk. And now our last talk will be given by His Excellency, the President of the University of Jordan, Professor Abdel Karim Libdar. Please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear representatives of the Ministry of Water and Irrigation, Dr. Ali Sabahan, Ministry of Environment, Dr. Jihad Sawair, dear Dr. Manafaya, the President of the University of Jordan University, dear colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. In fact, the subject of this conference is really attracting the attention of everybody all over the globe, particularly in our part of the world, where we are facing a real challenge in every aspect of our daily activities when it comes to water, resources, to environment. I was reading an article just a few days ago about what will be the globe or the world in 2050 and 2100. It's amazing. I mean, it's just, although there are many subjects targeted by that paper, but most of it was on the title of this conference. I think this is an important, I hope I can sit with you and listen to all the talks in this conference, because that's exactly what we are facing and we are going to face in Jordan in the down the road and the coming future and long-term challenges we face probably in this aspect. What concerns us is also the challenges they are touched by both representatives, both ministers, which are taking care of the water and environment, and that's a real challenge we hope to face. I know there are many centers of excellence in Jordan about the water and environment, and we have a distinguished center here at our university. We hope that this collaboration between our ministries and the centers to collaborate well with our colleagues from Germany, and this is a well-established collaboration. One example of it is German Jordan University, which is an active nucleus in this direction. I don't want to read from my speech here, but I can say it's worth mentioning that excellent development of societies is linked to clean environment and water resources. Finally, I would like to thank all of you and hope that the symposium comes up with solid recommendations that serve the purpose with mechanisms to apply these recommendations. Thank you and good luck for you, and I hope for our distinguished guests to enjoy their stay in Jordan.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your talk. شكرا جزيلا على حضوركم. Thank you very much. Vielen herzlichen Dank. And now I would like to invite you to a coffee break, and we will resume after the break at around 11. تفضل.